Here's the way I feel about Kirk Cousins, who I've met. Couldn't be a nicer guy. Couldn't be a nicer guy. But what he appears to be as a professional is a quarterback who can put together some terrific games. And he finally put together a terrific game at the right time in a do-or-die situation last year. But in terms of taking a team, putting them on their back, and being an MVP player, worthy of being one of the highest paid, guaranteed salaried players in a sport where there really isn't one, he's not that guy. I think we could safely say that right now. And certainly on a team as currently constituted, where you take Stephon Diggs and you send him somewhere else. And I hope that kid Justin Jefferson, who had his first really big game, hopefully that will open things up, and that you'll get a consistently excellent quarterback for the next 13 weeks and prove me wrong. At some point, as you know, Rich Gannon had a great end of his career, with the right situation. We've seen quarterbacks who are veterans suddenly turn it on. We've seen it before. It's we have yet to see it for Kirk Cousins. We've seen him throw for 4,000 yards. We've seen him have a hot month. We've seen him win Player of the Month. We've seen that. We haven't seen him put himself in the MVP race and say, "I'm an MVP quarterback. I see what everybody else is doing." And as opposed to being a guy who flutters around the cusp of being a top 10 quarterback. I don't think I'm telling any lies right there.
Do you think it's any way possible they can get out from under that contract?
I don't know how. I don't know. I mean, isn't it all guaranteed? I'm not a capologist. But
normally they front load these contracts so that there is some on the back end that they can. But
again,
clearly, I agree with you. I don't think he can get us there. But I know they just gave Dalvin Cook all that money. So either you got to get an offensive mind in here, or because I agree with you.
Hey, look, man. I mean, we're going deep down the Vikings rabbit hole here, but why not? You got Gary Kubiak there. I mean, Gary Kubiak is and thanks for the call. Gary Kubiak is one of the top sought out play callers in this league. As we all know, he retired from Denver, and people were seeking him out. And Cousins is very athletic. So the whole concept of Kubiak's offense, where you're kind of booting out and the run game comes off of the boot, and that's what Zimmer wants. I mean, Mike Zimmer wants Dalvin Cook to win these football games. And then when you need to come back, you've got a guy with a strong arm and a very potent arm with enough guys that can make plays. I mean, Thielen makes plays. But there are times when a very tough defense comes in and Cousins, does not perform up to snuff. We've seen it time and again. That's why the Washington football team did not sign him long term. That's why, it was surprising that the Vikings paid him all that money, all guaranteed. And then last year he won a playoff game in New Orleans. And then they let Stephon Diggs go for a first-round selection that did turn into, one of their first-round selections. They did use it on this young man from LSU and Justin Jefferson, who everyone thought was going to go way before it. Way before the Vikings had a chance to choose him. But we're 3 games in, they're 0-3. When is Kirk Cousins going to be the guy? Like even Matt Ryan did one year. Put it all together.
Ryan won MVP, yeah. Cousins isn't going anywhere. He's got so much money still due to him. $75 million cap hit. $31 million if he's released after next year. $45 million cap hit after 2022. He's not going anywhere.
You simply cannot have your quarterback take up that much space on your and pay him that amount of money and have him go into Indianapolis after the Colts lost week 1 to Jacksonville. You can't have him go to Indianapolis and have a passer rating once again. Don, can you put up that photograph of me as a young man? I mean, his passer rating was, I think, 1.5 points higher than I was on the day I was bar mitzvahed. That right there. You can't have a passer rating hovering around the age of me in this photograph. You can't. You can't.
It's a great photo.
had no idea when that picture was taken one day that I would use it to make a point about Kirk Cousins or any quarterback. I was dreaming of having dreaming of having a show like this at that age. Honestly, you can't. It's just that simple. And
15.
those clunkers. I mean, has Aaron Rodgers ever had a clunker like that? I mean, I'm being honest. Like, these are the quarterbacks with whom he needs to be mentioned. I know that it's the low-hanging fruit is Kirk Cousins. But if you did a top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL right now, would you take Arizona's quarterback over him?
Yes.
Would you take Baltimore's quarterback over him?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you take Buffalo's quarterback over him?
Yes.
Would you take Cincinnati's quarterback over him?
Yes.
Okay. Would you take Dallas's quarterback over him?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Would you take Green Bay's quarterback over him? Houston's quarterback over him? Kansas City's quarterback over him?
Yep.
Nah.
Would you take the Rams quarterback over him?
Yes.
All right.
Do I get McVay?
I'm talking about talent.
I would say they're about the same.
Okay. Would you take New England's quarterback over him?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you take Pittsburgh's quarterback over him?
No.
No.
All right. Would you take Seattle's quarterback over him?
Yes.
Yes.
Would you take Tennessee's quarterback over him? Now, Tannehill is similar too. Like, okay, when's Ryan Tannehill going to perform up to snuff? He's beginning to do that in a manner that we're waiting for Cousins. He won more playoff games last year than Kirk Cousins has, period.
It is same age.
I mean, we just named 10 other quarterbacks you would take.
Tannehill and Cousins are the same age, 32.
Dude, he has the talent. He's got the he has the ability. I mean, sometimes he goes on such a hot streak, 4 to 5, 6 weeks. He's dynamite.
Rich, would you take him over the Jets quarterback?
You know what? Good question, because he was knocking on the. I thought he was a bad fit for the New York market because showing up in
Cousins?
Indianapolis, yes,
Yeah.
okay, like much better to be in the Minneapolis media market, putting up a bar mitzvah quarterback rating than in New York City for the Jets. Look out. Nah, I thought he made the right move, big time. Absolutely. But I would take Kirk Cousins over Sam Darnold right now. Tonight? Tonight? Yeah. Yeah. If you've got to win a football game, of course I'd take Kirk Cousins over Sam Darnold right now. There's not even a question about it. Would you take Miami's quarterback over Kirk Cousins?
Fitzmagic?
Yeah.
No,
To win a football game.
I don't think so.
I take the beard.
The fact that we're even, honestly, but if we had asked that question in week 15 last year, they were both playing hot.
Your ceiling is a lot higher with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I mean,
Darnold could light it up tonight, and then we're singing a different tune
and
tomorrow.
here we go. Here are the next 5 games for 6, 7. Let's do it this way.
For Minnesota?
Yes. Him versus Deshaun Watson, him versus Russell Wilson, him versus Matt Ryan, him versus Aaron Rodgers, him versus Matthew Stafford, him versus Nick Foles, and him versus Dak.
I mean, the only one.
Now, honestly,
you'd
like
rather
if you're going toe to toe in must-win football games, you have to rely on your quarterback to get you through the day. This is it for the 2020 Vikings season.
Yeah, if they lose this week, it can get really bad, really fast for them.
Oh,
Fast.
yeah.
And the whole country's going to watch Week 5. Whole
I mean,
country.
absolute worst case, they're 0-10.
Oof.
After Dallas.
Which you should not be with a quarterback making $30-something million.
No.
Guaranteed. I'm sorry.
We thought they were going to win the division.
Don Bowie just getting in my ear saying quarterback rating. He only has a quarterback rating just a couple points better than Sam Darnold. And again, the reason when you throw in a quarterback rating game of 15 and change, that it kind of drags the average down. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.